I want to come on here and talk about the situation going on with Noah, Cyrus, and the Coonstress. First off, let me just say I did not know that Miley Cyrus had a sister. I wasn't too familiar with any of her siblings, if she has more siblings out there, because we only ever heard about her. Now looking at her picture, I can clearly see the resemblance because they look just alike. Like they look like they could have been twins, but Noah Cyrus is the younger sister and Miley's the older sister. But in case y'all haven't heard, but of course by the time this video gets uploaded, you will have heard. Um, Noah Cyrus had some words for the Coonstress on her Instagram account, where she was basically going back at the Coonstress, for some words that she had said about Harry Styles. Now, I talked about that in a previous live stream where she was basically critiquing or criticizing Harry Styles wearing a dress for the Vogue magazine. I think it's for Vogue that he did it for, if I'm not mistaken. I forget what magazine it was for, but y'all can correct me down in the comments if y'all know. But she posted up, well, first off, the Coonstress faced a lot of backlash for that from a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people was going at her neck about that. Probably still are in a way, but it probably scaled down or scaled back a little bit because, it was like a here today, gone tomorrow type of deal. But Noah Cyrus was one of those people that wasn't prepared to let that go. So she posted up a picture of Harry Styles on her Instagram page where it was a picture from one of the cover pictures that he took. Well, not the cover picture, but the I guess you get the publishing pictures. I forget what that's called, but the inside of the magazine. But she left a caption in which she subliminally was talking to Candace, the Coonstress, but she called her a nappy ass hoe. Like that's what she referred to her as in so many words. And then people got wind of it, and then the whole situation went viral. People let the Coonstress know what she had said because she had knew that it was about her, and it was about her because the Coonstress was the only one that really made a big deal about the whole Harry Styles situation, saying, why can't we bring back manly men? I even went as far as to say that it's interesting that she says that about a white man, but when it came to black men, like Billy Porter, or as I call him, Silly Porter, she doesn't say anything when he's out there wearing ballroom gowns and all types of stuff to red carpets and whatnot, because in her eyes, the only manly man is a white man. I mean, look at who she's married to. But that's neither here nor there. So she got on her Twitter account and she said, she basically was saying that, does any one of the woke liberals care to explain to me how Noah Cyrus calling me a nappy asshole is not racist? I'm all ears. You guys love cancel culture. At Miley Cyrus, come get your sister. So eventually, of course, the Coonstress had to make it political because why not? That's an opportunity for her to try to make it into a political statement. Now, I will say this. What Noah Cyrus said was extremely racist. Because we remember, and for those of us who are of a certain age, or who are old enough to remember, back in 2006, when Don Imus had made those comments about those black women on that basketball team, I think they were at Rutgers, and he had called them nappy-headed hoes. And that was a big deal when that happened because Don Imus was relatively popular in conservative talk show radio. And he never really truly recovered from that. He didn't get quote unquote canceled because cancel culture wasn't a thing back then. But people really, really scaled back from him. Not everyone, but a few people. And of course, Don Imus, he ended up passing away. What was it, last year or early this year? It was one of the two. He will not be missed. Now we can only get rushed to get up on out of here. Then that'll complete the set. But anyway, we remember what he said that and how disrespectful and offensive and racist that was. What Noah Cyrus said was basically the same thing. Now, mind you, Noah Cyrus is only 20. She's 20. I don't know if she turned 20 this year or she's about to turn 20 in the next couple of weeks. I don't know if she was born in December or not, but let's hypothetically say she turned 20 sometime before today. That means she was born in 2000. Look at how young she is, and that's what she's saying. When confronted about this and her back is against the wall, all she could say was, in so many words, I didn't know that was considered to be racist. This is why many people do not like allowing the quote unquote liberal white woman in particular, or even liberal white people in general, that could be man or woman, get into a lot of these spaces because they get too comfortable. What did she mean? She didn't know that's what it meant. When people think of the word nappy head, it can only be referred to with black people. We're the only ones that have nappy or what would be considered nappy or kinky or coarse hair. No other group really has that. And if they do, it's most likely some black somewhere in them genetics. Like you can always look at the hair texture of someone, like for instance, someone who goes around claiming to be Puerto Rican or Dominican. You can look at that hair texture and see somewhere in them roots. And I mean, when I say roots, I'm talking about in their lineage. There was a black person or a few black people there, and it just transcended and followed them through genetics. Genetics and DNA is a strong thing. Our genetics and genes, our DNA is very strong. That's why our genes are very dominant and not recessive. That's basic science in biology. But the only black people can have really, you can say, nappy hair. So yes, she was very offensive when she said that. And there's only so much scaling back that she can possibly do. On the flip side, though, I can never, ever bring myself to defend the Coonstress when it comes to situations like this. And you don't even have to ask me why that is. This woman has a history, a very long, within a brief short amount of time, history of disrespecting black people, especially black men. Furthermore, black men who are deceased and have lost their lives to police brutality. I can give you 3 examples, well, 2 examples and another example where someone lived. George Floyd. This is the same woman that basically had all this crap to say about George Floyd and went so far as to create funds for these cops, for these terrorists, for them. Then you had the one in Georgia, I forget his name. Someone down in the comments, let me know, unless I can remember it in his commentary. She did the same thing. Remember, the campaign had to get shut down and they raised like $250,000 through a campaign ad that she had up. And then she had so much stuff to talk about with Jacob Blake and all types of things like that. This woman has been nothing but disrespectful and wicked to and about black people. Has the nerve to say racism doesn't exist, but claims racism with this, but with the same woman who sued her school for racism a few years ago, before we even knew who the hell she was. Her fall from grace is coming very, very soon. And I actually thought it was going to come even sooner when she had made those comments about Hitler. If y'all remember, or I'm sorry, the Stash. For those of you who don't know, I refer to him as the Stash. When she made those comments about the Stash, in so many words saying she agreed with what he did and it was such a quote unquote good thing. That was the moment right there. I thought PC was going to get on her and quote unquote cancel her, but they didn't. They scaled her back a little bit, but they allow her to continue to thrive because they need her. She is their puppet. And they need her for as long as they possibly can. She is their vessel to say all the things they want to say but can't say to us. And Harvey actually had made a good point in his video about this. He said that, what did he say? Whenever he says something about us, notice that white people or PC will come out and be all rallied behind her whenever she says something about us. But the minute that she says something, maybe about them, depending on what it's about, they won't say anything. So when she said what she said about Harry Styles, they were behind her. Her coming back at Noah Cyrus, they're behind her. And as a matter of fact, the only other person I know who came out and said something about the Coonstress in this situation was another black conservative, a guy who, might I add, is a part of the academy. When I saw his picture, I was like, I remember seeing his quote unquote wedding photos. And might I also add, the person he married is a PC man, so him and Candace have something in common. Besides the political leanings that they have in their allegiances. But like I said, what Noah Cyrus said was definitely racist. Most definitely. I can't sit here and say that it wasn't. But what Candace, the Coonstress, says on a repetitive basis is why I cannot defend her in this situation. I cannot defend a woman against racism who claims that racism isn't a big deal. This is also the same woman that said that white supremacy is something that's low on the totem pole, and I'm just paraphrasing, that's low on the totem pole when it comes to issues that black people face in this country, in this establishment. She said that's low. As a matter of fact, it's damn near non-existent. Then she started naming all these other things. But when you think about all the stuff that she named, it was because of white supremacy that those things are happening, have happened, and continue to happen. But she's so tone deaf. Shout out to Jay Lethal, because he actually did a whole video talking about that, I think like a month or two ago. But she's playing her part. She's playing her part, and she's playing it well. But every part has an end, and hers is coming up. She just doesn't know when or how it's going to happen. Neither do we, but we will be sitting back idly by, waiting for it to happen. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next one.